Okay, we're about ready to go see a very, very special person, probably the most special person that's been in Parliament in this past year. He's just about to retire, and I thought we should do a brief media interview for the cam, but let's go to his door first. We come down the hallway here, and here you'll see all these famous pictures of people that used to be Speaker. And then if you look in here, it's the Speaker of the House. So let's go inside and see. All right, here we are with the most honourable person here in Parliament, in my opinion, at the moment, but he's kindly let us into his office. Speaker Milliken, I know that you're going to be retiring when this Parliament is over, and I just thought, I've expressed to you already my personal thoughts about the dignity you brought to this place, but I wonder if you have any enduring thoughts from your time here, high moments, things that you remember the most that you'll really appreciate.
Oh, I suppose it was the first time I got elected Speaker. It was a biggie.
Now, was that a tight race? I wasn't here, but that was
yeah, I think it was 5 ballots or something like that.
Oh, really?
I don't know how close the voting was, of course, because you never hear how many votes anybody has, but it took a number of ballots. No, Parliament's been a fun place to work. I've enjoyed it from the very beginning, and in '88 when I came here, and coming up to watch before that, I always enjoyed. It was more back in the 60s, the 70s. I wasn't here very often, or the early 80s, but once I came back in I was elected in '88, I got active in the House, of course, and enjoyed it immensely. It was always challenging and interesting, and being on committees and stuff was fun.
Yeah. Well, I keep hearing that you're the most popular Speaker ever, but I don't know how people would know that, because you've actually been here longer than they have, so they don't have that kind of distant memory.
Exactly.
But I think your sense of humor, the way that you've kind of deflected a lot of things that have been difficult and kept people on the up and up is one of the things that people keep mentioning to me that they remember about you. And I have seen you speaking at certain times, and you do use that kind of self-deprecating kind of humor in the way you have about yourself, but also just kind of you do take the heat out of the place, not always, and I understand that, but you do have a remarkable ability that way. Do you have a highlight?
I don't sit around thinking of these things. I'm not good at these questions because you flow along with the day, and different things happen at different times, and I don't normally think of any one thing as spectacular. I suppose the ruling on the Afghan documents has become big, because it got so much media coverage. To me, it wasn't all that unusual a decision or unprecedented or anything like that. In my view, it was entirely in accordance with normal practice, but the fact that it came to the chair for argument because the motion was passed without discussion. If it had been a motion for the production of papers, there would have been discussions between the proposer of the motion, the mover, and the government, and they'd have settled on what documents would be produced in what condition, as it were. And there would have been, the motion would have passed in the House. But this one was voted through with no discussion that I could tell on modification. So you had this demand passed by the House and not complied with. So it came to the Speaker. So you make a ruling, and it attracted enormous media coverage, which, as I say, I didn't think was particularly justified from the point of view of practice. But I guess it made a splash because it was demanding something and asserting the rights of the House, which, of course, in my view, are there and can be exercised. So that however you may feel about the way the motion got through, it happened. So it was a big deal, I suppose, in that respect.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I remember those days very well. What do you do now? You're going to retire. You're going to go back to Kingston. What will you do?
That's the plan. Yes. I suspect I'll do the odd lecture at Queen's, maybe at RMC. And work with the former parliamentarians group. I think I'd enjoy participation there. Do some election observation, democratic development in other countries.
You travel a lot, right? You've traveled a lot.
I have traveled a lot as Speaker. I've been to a very large number of countries on official visits. Last week I was in Kuwait and Sweden, and had a very interesting time as always. So it's fascinating, that part of the job. And doing some, much less I hope, but some with the former parliamentarians would be It's going to be fun, and it's a great group to work with.
Yeah. And what about hobbies? Do you have any hobbies now that you can finally get to?
Well, I collect stamps. I haven't done much with that for years, but aside from first day covers, but I hope I can spend a bit of time on that. Sort out my old stamp albums, and of course I have a cottage. Spend time there, and I'd like to go whitewater canoeing, so I hope I can get some of that in too.
That's good.
Yeah.
Speaker, you're a very special man here in this place. We all think that. That's
Thanks,
why you've been
man.
our longest serving speaker. But just for me personally, thank you for the strength you brought to this place and for all the service you brought to this country.
Well, and to you, I'm delighted you're here in the House, and I hope you're here for a while to come.
See how it goes. Thanks,
Yeah.
Speaker.
All the best. Thank you.
Okay, so just so you know, as you know, I've been wearing some bow ties, but I need some help in tying them. And just before I leave, the speaker's going to show me how to do it. So let's have a quick look.
Okay.
All right.
Now, so you got to pretend you're like tying a shoelace.
Yeah.
Push that through there.
Yeah.
Pull this up like this. Down like that.
Yeah.
In behind like that.
And how do you find that hole when you go in behind? That's the part I find so hard.
Okay.
But you just get
Back.
practiced, I guess.
Yeah, you put this over. Pull this down.
Yeah.
And then if you reach in behind there and stick your thumb under
Yeah.
the hole is there, and you just pull it tight, and then you can adjust
Yeah.
to your heart's content. And it's quite easy.
That's easy for you, but that's good. You're no pro. That looks good.
Yeah, I mean it's not easy with that collar, but
No,
because it pushes everything out. But it's fairly easy to do, and then
That's an
it's just like it's reversed from your shoe. That's the part that's confusing.
that's what I found
But
difficult too. That's great. Thank you.
you.